Hello and welcome, it's Chris from Christopher Holt Training. Welcome to this week's tutorial where I'm going to be taking you through 7 stretches to help alleviate scoliosis. Now we are going to be talking about stretches not just of the spine but also of the hips and of the shoulders. So what we tend to find is obviously you can see the scoliotic curve of the spine here. Now if you look at past videos of mine, I've talked about stretches that you can do directly for the spine, but what we're going to talk about in this video are stretches for glutes, which is in this area here, which is another area that will get affected here and here. You're also going to look at hip flexor, which goes either side of the spine all the way down through the pelvis onto the front, and then you've got some stretches of the pecs and of the lats, which are the muscle that comes down across the back here. So we're going to be talking about all these different areas of the body, but quickly, just before we get into that, I'll just quickly mention my social media, so please do come along there, like and follow. It'd be great to have you there. If there's anything in this video that you find interesting, please do comment. If you have scoliosis, please do leave a yes in the comments box. If you don't, please leave no. But it would be great to answer any questions that you might have, so if you do, again, just leave in a comment below. So if you have any of that, please do pop a comment in, but otherwise like and subscribe to the channel. So what we'll do now is we'll get straight into the first set of stretches. The first set of stretches we're going to look at are the stretches of the spine. Now we've got 3 stretches here, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Now these are doing slightly different aspects of what the spine can do. Basically the spine can extend, as you can see in this stretch. The spine can flex in this stretch, and then you've got rotation and you could say extension in this stretch. So you've got a sort of twisting movement or position there. So it's probably a good idea to pause the video if you want to go through these stretches and do them. What I will be doing is I'll be leaving how you do the stretches in a blog on the website, so that won't be released at the exact same time as the video, but if you scroll down, look into the description, see the link, then you'll go through and you'll be able to see the how to do those stretches and all the different teaching points and the timings of them as well. But basically what we're looking to do with this stretch is you would start sort of sat up more upright with your legs like that. Your hands would be round here, but then you would walk your hands around in that position, so you're getting that rotation of the spine, but you would also then bring your hands close to your body, so you're getting extension of the spine as well. So that's stretch number 1, which is rotation and extension. Then you've got flexion of the spine, which is this stretch here. So all you're doing is on your hands and knees, hands below shoulders, knees below hips. You'll start in the neutral posture, so you've got the natural S curve, and then all you're going to do is you're just going to go into a mild flexion, again just trying to stretch the spine. You're not necessarily trying to take it to its end range, but you're going to try and take it into a flex position and into a stretched position. And then you've got the final stretch, which is extension, and all you're using, now it doesn't have to be a foam roller like I'm using here, it could be a cushion, it could be anything that elevates your back from the floor, and then all you're looking to do is sit back on it and then just take your arms up over your head. As you can see here, I'm actually holding onto a piece of dowel that you might not be able to see, but then I'm just allowing my head and arms just to roll back over just to extend the spine. So what you're doing there is you're getting all 3 sort of positions or postures of the spine: rotation and extension, flexion, and then extension on its own. So what we'll now look at are the stretches of the hip. The hip stretches are for the glutes around the back and the hip flexors on the front. So the hip flexor joins in at the top of your leg, and then it goes all the way up onto the 5 lumbar vertebrae and the T12 bottom thoracic vertebrae as well. Now again, all you're looking to do is you're on one knee and you've got this knee on the floor, this foot on the floor. Now what you do is you take your hips forward, so you'll see my knee goes forward as well. My hip then goes in front of this knee, so you start with your hip in that sort of position. You take your hip forward, and all that's looking to do is just looking to extend the hip in that position here. So you're not looking to extend the spine and sort of hyperextend on the spine, but you're just looking to extend through the hip here. So that's then releasing the muscle called the psoas muscle and the iliacus muscle. And then this one is a raised glute stretch. So you can use a sofa, a bench, stairs, whatever it might be, but anything raised. And all you're looking to do is get your leg across parallel with your hips. So your hips are parallel, your shin is parallel. And then you're just looking to let your hips sink down towards the floor. So your knee will also go down towards the floor as well. And that's going to stretch sort of on the back and the outer part of the hip. So we're loosening off the hip and just giving a little bit more freedom for the hips to move and just release the tension around the base of the spine. So the final stretches that we'll look at will be the shoulder stretches. 2 simple shoulder stretches where we're focusing on the pecs on the front of the chest here and the lats on the outside or of the back. Now, what we want to do with the pec stretch, so this is the one for the chest muscle. Again, we used a raised edge. So this could be, again, it could be a sofa, it could be a step, it could be whatever it is. But you basically go onto all fours, so you've got both knees on the floor and then you've got this one hand on the floor. You place your forearm on the bench. Now what you then do is you then want to take this shoulder towards the floor. So that shoulder sinks down and this shoulder stays in position. So you'll kind of go into a slightly lopsided position in that one shoulder will be higher than the other. Now all that's doing, that's stretching the chest muscle into the shoulder. And then the final stretch, which is the stretch for the lats, which is down the outside of the back of your body. You go again onto 2 knees. So you've got 1 knee, 2 knee on the floor. You've then got your feet, both feet are on the floor. You'll start with your hips or with your thighs vertical. You then place your arms on the bench here, and then you take your bum down towards your heels. So what happens is your knee begins to bend into that sort of position. Now, what you can then add to this is now you'll be sort of lying straight, if you will, but what you would then do is you would then lean to the left to get the left side, and then you would lean to the right to get to the right side. So as you lean to the left, you'll feel the stretch more in here. As you then lean to the right, obviously on the other side of the body, you'll feel it more over here. So those are my recommended 7 stretches to help alleviate scoliosis. All of them will reduce tension in the muscles that are around the spine. It will give more freedom of movement to the joints, and it will help relieve the pressure, the pain, and the aching around the back, around the lower back, around the upper back, the shoulders, and the neck. So hopefully that's been helpful. Hopefully it's given you a better idea of what you can do. Now again, if you scroll down in the description, there will be a link to a blog which will give you the teaching points written. But again, you can just listen to this with all the teaching points in the video that I've described. So many thanks for watching. My name is Chris from ChristopherHole.com. I'll speak to you in the next video.